Hello and welcome to the Bee Shifter podcast. I'm John Vance, your host. We want to welcome you here today. Coming up, incident audio on 2 strategic shifts. Stand by for that. Also, we're going to talk to Josh and Chris. They're going to join me in just a few seconds here and give us a preview of what's going on in early 2006 with Blue Cards. Now we have with us Josh Blum and Chris Stewart. Josh Blum is the program manager for Blue Card. Chris Stewart, our curriculum manager for Blue Card. The last podcast we did, I didn't even acknowledge Chris, so I feel bad. I apologize to you for that, Chris. So you need full acknowledgement from me.
It's probably better for everybody that it doesn't. I don't get acknowledged.
Well, we want to acknowledge you. You certainly bring a lot of your brain power to this group today. Today, we are going to get into some audio from 2 separate incidents, one in Ohio, one in Georgia. So stand by for that. Some great examples, as we like to play for you on the Bee Shifter podcast, of some successful operations and what right looks like. And we'll have some notes on those as we play the audio. But before we get going, Josh, we have a lot of classes on the calendar. Many are filling up, many are full. What do we have on the horizon here in 2026 for Blue Card?
Yeah, so it's it is filling up pretty quickly already. We got classes booked. We got some classes booked all the way out through the end of 2026 already. So we have plenty of depth to deliver multiple classes in the same week. But at some point, it's just availability. When you want to do something, may not be available. So Ocala, Florida. We got a big box workshop scheduled. There is seats open in that, and we're only going to probably do 2 other ones besides the ones we have posted already. The one in Cincinnati's already sold out. Ocala's got seats open in it. And then we're going to be doing 1 or 2 out in Colorado on the west, towards the West Coast, so that we can try to, get those delivered regionally, so it make it a little easier for folks to travel and so on. And then all of our train-the-trainer classes, the on-the-road ones fill up, very quickly. And then we have open seats in the Phoenix classes, but as all the other classes fill, those seats end up filling up quickly too. So you can find our entire list of classes posted on at bshifter.com and see what's available, what's not available. And then if you're looking to host a class, the sooner you reach out, the more flexibility and availability we'll have to meet your needs and whatever dates you're looking to have a class. So,
well, specifically Ocala, Florida, we're going to be there March 12th and 13th, and then also that Bowling Green, Ohio class, which we're going to be in Bowling Green on March 23rd and March 24th. So get on to bshifter.com, find your dates, find the one by you, and get signed up. As Josh said, they do fill up, and especially with the limited availability of the big box classes, because Shane Ray only has so many dates that he can give us because he does an entire day with us. So that when they're here, and then once they're gone, right?
Yep.
All right. And then the train-the-trainer classes out at the AVBCTC, which is always a good learning experience for everyone. Anything else going on, Josh, as far as the program goes? The 2 of us will be on a webinar at the end of the month, so we've been teasing that out a little bit. We're going to announce the webinar this week, and it's for all Blue Card instructors. If you're not an instructor, you're welcome to listen in, but it's really meant for Blue Card instructors, because we have some tweaks and updates that we do. You always say that we live in command function number 7, where we're revising. So we'll be going through some of those revisions, especially how we're tying in the after action review, right?
Yeah. So during this last 3 or 4 weeks, when, around the holidays, Chris Stewart and the group did not take much time for the holidays, though we got to spend time with the families and eat and hang out and all of that. That's all good. But we did the group did a ton of work on just updating and refining how we deliver the trainer, updating curriculum, updating all the material that kind of goes with the trainer, updating the 3-day cert lab. And Chris, I'll just push it to you for this, but our focus was making sure that we are current and that we're delivering standardized training that is connected back to resources and best practice.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that happens kind of simultaneously inside the fire service that influences and impacts anything anybody is teaching, quite honestly. So our goal with that thought of living in Command Function 7 is to constantly reviewing and revising, and what can we do to actually improve the instruction that we give to our students or the folks that are going to be instructors, and then how do we help them be better instructors themselves to be able to deliver that. So there's no like drastic changes to what we're teaching, but we found areas where we can refine things, explain them better, plug in new information, and make it more relevant for the students and the instructors, really, to go out and be able to teach their folks. Right? It's a difficult thing. It's a difficult transition a lot of times for folks to be. No, I'm just somebody in the class who's learning how to do something. Where in our train the trainers, now you're learning how to be the instructor, and you're learning how to answer the hard questions and deal with the rock throwers and all those other things. So what are the things that we can put into the program to assist their understanding of the system, to assist their why within the system, and then how they actually teach. So that really was our focus, and I think we've been reasonably successful with that. And literally Monday morning, we're going to start JV, and Sean and Tim are going to start teaching, with the new material. So we're ready to jump.
Yeah, and then just hit it real quick. The AAR program that just continues to be refined and grow, and more and more organizations, once they do 1 or 2 after action reviews in there, then they kind of are hooked on it, because it's really easy for us to measure success by nothing went wrong and nobody got hurt and so on. But the AAR just gives you an opportunity to dive deeper into the audio, look at video, your procedures, policies, and evaluate, where are we doing well, and reinforce that behavior, and where can we improve. And the Springdale audio that we're going to listen to, Springdale Fire Department does after actions on I think everything above like electrical fires. So a lot of lessons learned, and lessons reinforced. So in this one, there's their ops chief wrote a whole page of, this is maybe some things that we should consider and do better. And then they wrote a whole page on, this is what we did well, and what we need to continue to do. So we're using this audio because they kind of reached out to us and sent it to us and said, hey, you can use this, and it's got a strategic shift in it. So we'll work through and walk through that. But it's not just learning for that fire department. The nice thing in the Southern Ohio area is the way the AAR set up, that once it's complete, Springdale Fire Department can send that entire report to everybody who was at the incident, and everybody can learn from it. So they can't modify it or anything, but it's a review only document and data that all goes together and breaks the incident down from all the way from the 911 call until you leave, and then even afterwards, adding in investigation components, the lessons learned, and reinforcing the behavior we want to see. So
great. I was with a group of blue card instructors today, and out of 15 or 18, only 2 of them are actually using the AAR. So we talked a lot about that this morning. And we want to encourage people to use this tool that they have. It's a powerful tool for continuous improvement within your organization. So please use that AAR tool because it will help you improve, and it will also help you reinforce the great behaviors that you have within your department. So on the first one, what are we going to listen to here? This is Springdale, Ohio.
Yeah.
So you want to set this up?
Yeah. Springdale, Ohio. It's a city fire department. They run an engine, tower, medic, district chief out of the same station. They're just a 1-station fire department. At this incident, I think there were 7 or 8 different fire departments dispatched to it, because that's how they meet their standard response numbers for whatever the building type would be. And fortunately in this region, most everybody out of 46 fire departments, I think 40 of them have pretty much so fully engaged with Blue Card, have standardized policies, procedures, guidelines, and it even jumps the county line now, which is even better that it's going into the county just north and just east of the county that the city of Springdale's in. So, everybody operating under one plan, before it's even dispatched. So everybody's using the same system to manage the fireground, and everybody has the same standardized SOGs when they operate on the fireground, from accountability to strategic shift to communications, using tickets on the radio, just the whole Blue Card system. So on this incident, the fire's about maybe a block and a half or 2 blocks from the firehouse. The district chief actually arrives there first with his engine, does the initial radio report, and communicates to the engine some information of what he wants to happen. Really, that was just based on him having some other information from having a better view of the building before they got there, and also the layout of this building and where it sits on the street as far as leaving access open for other apparatus to be able to get into the incident. So we hear that sometimes. Well, what if the chief gets there first? And we've had probably 50% of the audio we've used was the chief got there first, and 50% of it is, a company's there and maybe assigns 3 or 4 or 5 companies before the chief gets there. So the system works either way. And we're all the fire department, but there's still not very many fire departments that are exactly the same when it comes to, geographic and how they're laid out, and, response area, and do they have chiefs? Do they not have chiefs? All of that stuff. So as we listen to this, you'll hear several other chiefs arrive and get assigned to, different positions. And all of those chiefs are coming from other mutual aid fire departments. And one thing we hear a lot about the Blue Card system is we can't get that resource there to fill that tactical level. And, Nick Bernasini always says, well, draw a box around your response area as big as the Phoenix Metro is, and I guarantee you have more chiefs available than the Phoenix Fire Department does. And I haven't really been anywhere where that wasn't the case, because you just have to work with your neighbors and, make the next step. They don't have to be right next door to you. They don't all have to be there in 5 minutes. It's, as the incident escalates, we assign those folks. And then this incident has a strategic shift in it, because they identify that the roof is not intact, and that they don't want people operating under it. So we'll kind of talk about that. And really, this whole podcast, we'll talk about the whole system, but it'll highlight a little bit more about strategic shifts, because both of these audio clips we're going to use have strategic shifts in them. One in a commercial building strip mall, the other in a residential single family home. So
District 90 on scene, single story, medium sized strip, working structure fire on the Charlie side. District 90 will have command, offensive strategy, stand by for 360, engine, lay in. You go on the Charlie side.
9601, level 1.
9601, come to the car.
Engine 90 command, we're making the flip on Northland. We're going to hit this hydrant. We'll lay in. You said you want us to drive to the Charlie.
You can come to the Delta side.
Clear. Medic 90, go ahead and wrap this hydrant. Tower 90 is level 1.
District 90, all incoming units. RP advises everybody's out.
Tower 90 is level 1.
Tower 90. Going to assign you search. Follow engine 90 on the Charlie side.
Tower 90 is clear. Search on the Charlie side.
4501 on level 1.
4501, I'm going to give you Charlie. You'll have engine 90 taking a hand line through the Charlie side. Tower 90 performing a search.
I'm clear on engine 90 on the Charlie side with tower 90 on the side.
Ladder 96 on scene, level 1.
Command to all incoming units, 360 is complete. Working fire on the Charlie side. Remaining offensive strategy. Command to ladder 96, I'm going to send you through the Alpha to the Bravo exposure. Bravo exposure, you're going to search.
You're clear. Bravo exposure, search.
Engine 90 with command with the cam.
Go ahead.
Got fire in the attic space. We're starting to knock it down. We're gonna need someone to get on the roof and look there. I don't know what the conditions look like outside now.
Command's clear. Get a knock on it. There is a color change to the smoke. Tower 90 is setting up. I'm going to assign the next incoming unit. Take a look at that roof.
Tower 90, command.
Go ahead for command.
All clear on the primary search. Request for assignment.
Tower 90, you're going to go to the Bravo 2 exposure. Check for extension.
Tower 90 ATO to command. Can we get PD to the front? We got people trying to enter the structure.
Command's clear. I'll advise county.
County copies. PD to the front.
Command to Tower 90. Pull a second line off of engine 90. I'm going to redirect you. Pull a second line. Assist engine 90 with fire attack. Charlie side.
Charlie to command with an update.
Go ahead.
They do have water in the fire in the interior. However, we do have active fire on the roof. That is in the roof line.
Engine 40 is stage level 1.
186, we're also level 1.
District 40, also level 1. District 40, level 1.
District 40, I'm going to have you take Alpha. You'll have ladder 96 working for you. Engine 40, lay a second supply line. You're going to lay it into Tower 90. We're going to flow water off of Tower 90 into the roof.
District 40 is clear. I'll let you know when I'm in place. Alpha with ladder 96.
Ladder 42, level 1 stage.
District 86, level 1.
County 30, level 1.
Engine 75, level 1.
Ladder 42, level 1 stage.
Quinn 86. Move your crew forward. We're going to have you operate off Tower 90. Flow water on the roof from Tower 90. Engine 40 is going to lay into Tower 90. And Engine 40, I'm going to send you to the Bravo side. Check for extension all the way at the end.
86 clear on flowing water off Tower 90. Charlie to command.
Go ahead.
I'll need an extra jump in here on the Charlie side to go on deck with me. I also recommend getting some crews inside with some longer hooks to help open this up, see if they can get it from the inside.
You're clear. Ladder 42. Move your crew forward. You're going to be on deck. Bring your rat pack. Charlie side.
Ladder 42 clear. Bring right back. Point 32, level 1.
Quint 32. I'll have you move forward. Charlie side. Bring hooks.
Tower 73, level 1.
District 42, level 1. District 42, command. I'm in place on Alpha.
District 40, you're clear. You have ladder 96 working for you. Checking the Bravo exposure.
District 40 clear on Alpha.
970, level 1.
Agent 59, level 1.
Charlie to command with an update.
Go ahead for command.
All active fire on the roof is out. Tick's looking pretty good. Just want to verify we do have a fire out before we scale this back at all.
Command's clear. Active fire on the roof. Up here's out. Checking for extension.
Alpha to command.
Go ahead.
We have an all clear in the Bravo exposure. Top ceiling tiles. Nothing showing in there.
Clear on Bravo exposure being clear. Which unit are you?
This is Alpha. That was traffic from ladder 96.
Command's clear. I'd like to get a unit into each exposure. Make sure they're clear.
Alpha's clear.
Engine 40 command. Ladder 96 has water. We're requesting reassignment.
Command to Alpha.
Go for Alpha.
Sending you ladder 42 to assist in assessing the exposures.
Alpha's clear.
Engine 93 level 1.
186 command for a roof report.
Go ahead for command.
Yeah, we do have a small little active fire still up here. This unit does appear to be one to collapse in on the inside, so I'll have the interior crews be a little careful.
Command's clear. Small active fire on the roof line. Roof appears compromised. Command to Charlie.
Yeah, this is Charlie.
If the interior fire appears to be knocked down, let's pull our crews out. We'll flow water from the bucket. Attack the fire from the aerial.
Okay, try this clearing out. I'll pull everybody out.
Your incident has been.
Command for Medic 90 info only. We got one patient. We're returning to our vehicle to assess.
Command's clear to Meg 90.
Engine 40 to command. We have water to Tower 90. We're requesting reassignment.
Command's clear, tower to water 90, requesting reassignment. You're going to report to Alpha, assist in assessing the Bravo exposures.
Engine 40 clear. Reporting to Alpha.
Command County.
County, go ahead. Command, go ahead.
Give me alert tones. We're going to be switching to defensive in the fire occupancy.
Command, you're clear. Alert tones switching to defensive for fire occupancy. 1026. All units on fireground 4 per command switching to defensive strategy per fire occupancy. Repeating, all units switch to defensive strategy for fire occupancy. Relayed Hamilton County 1026.
Commander Charlie.
Go ahead.
Do we have all our interior crews out of the fire occupancy?
A firm. All units assigned to Charlie are out.
Command's clear. Command, all units on the fire ground. We're defensive in the fire occupancy. Defensive mode in the fire occupancy. We're going to be flowing water from Tower 90 onto the roof to extinguish what's left of it.
Yeah. So just to kind of recap this, so it's probably 8 or 9 different fire departments that were dispatched to this. So Springdale Fire Department, they have a working fire response in the county dispatch system. So as soon as you say working fire in the county, they assign a dispatcher. That was huge progress for us in our region here, because 2 years ago you would never get a dispatcher on the TAC channel. And as we listen to this, we can talk about it further, but there's big value in that, of them being able to engage and us being able to connect, right to the dispatcher, and then having that communications of when should they break in on the radio if they have something for us. But really the active listening of what do all these terms mean. And when, just as an example, when command called for emergency traffic change and strategies, they were right on it. Like, there was no question. There wasn't like I got to pull a book out, whatever. And that doesn't happen by accident. And Chief Williams, the ops chief there at Springdale, does a lot of work with us with Blue Card, and he does a whole presentation on don't say your capabilities. The capability's not there if you haven't engaged your dispatch system or dispatch center to actually talk to them and say, what can you do, what can't you do. So I just wanted to put that out there. So he got there first, gave a size up. Another chief was in the area, and he had that chief come to the car. So nobody in our region has drivers. So we fill out that with the other response chief. So yeah, you heard, I think, 7 different chiefs on the radio, but we pair those chiefs up so that we end up with a support officer with the IC, and then anywhere where there's a division assigned. As we went through kind of the assignments, Engine 90 was doing fire attack, and then he assigned the tower from his same station to search that occupancy space through the same door that Engine 90 went through. There was actually a person that had been sleeping there but was out of the building when they got there. So that later on in the communications, that's where that came from, that Medic 90 had a patient, but they were indeed out of the building. I always put this out there on this live audio because people are like, man, there's a lot of radio traffic. And what we listened to in, I think, 12 minutes was like 25 or so, at least 25 minutes of audio. So, the IC was going through, what's going on? What are the critical factors? What's my incident action plan? What do I need to do with companies? So this was an end of the row unit. So there was only exposures on that one side. So, right away tried to get somebody to start getting into those spaces to check and make sure that they were getting all clears. I want to go back just for a second. So the power of the system and the training is the IC that was in District 90 is a company officer that rides the engine probably every shift except for 6 or 7 shifts in a year. So he was riding up that day. So it's a different position, but he did a nice job and you can kind of push that all back to the system, right? That we all get trained and use the same system. So whether we were sitting in the engine or whether we were sitting in that car, everybody's, trained the same way on the same page. But my point there is, when you tell somebody what you want them to do and you train them to do it, you get good performance typically out the other side of it. You can't just say, oh, the chief's off today, so you're a company officer, you're going to ride in the car today, just go figure it out. So beyond that, we heard all those other assignments. There was a lot of companies, going into level 1 and all that. But again, that was, in a very compressed time frame. Some pretty good information, from Charlie. So command assigned Charlie, gave him a couple companies. That was kind of a forecasting thing of where's the work happening, how many people are back there. He couldn't see what was going on back there from where he was positioned. So getting a division boss into that place, because there was going to be, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies assigned back there, doing work. And he got a support officer assigned, with that division. And then, the fire attack and the primary unit was being taken care of. So he then gave some focus to getting all clears and all of those other units. And the easiest way for him to do that was, well, he got one unit into there, but then as soon as he got another chief, he assigned somebody to Alpha. But their assignment was to get an all clear of all the rest of those units all the way down the building. So if you didn't have extension in the first one, you probably don't have extension in any of the other ones, but just making sure that there was no occupants, in any of those units at that point. And then the information from the roof report, right? So they come on with a roof report and that they have fire. They do have fire on the roof, and the fire was multiple HVAC units and a hood system there. So the roof the integrity was already weak, but the fire had run up and gotten above the ceiling tiles and had been burning for a while. So the integrity of the roof was not good. So, he made the decision of, we got an all clear. There's nobody into there. We got most of the fires knocked down. There's no reason for us to risk putting anybody inside of there if we can do whatever we're going to do from outside. So he made this strategic shift. So that's kind of just a little bit of a rundown of, as you listen to it, what happened, and kind of reinforcing, the things that went well. One thing we can always talk about is, using tickets. So our communications really fit into, status change or priority traffic, unless the IC is asking for a CAN report. So the more we can use tickets, the clearer the communications will be. So the example, when they gave the roof report, it's like, okay, here comes a roof report, but everybody's listening for a roof report. No different than when they were changing occupancy spaces, or they were complete with an assignment. They came on and said with a CAN report, but really with a status change that we have an all clear of that unit, we're ready for reassignment. So it's that word of that ticket, right? And the value of using the tickets, if you will, that what we call them, of, status change, priority traffic, just like we say Mayday, 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 just like we pull up on the scene and say engine 1 on the scene with an initial radio report. We preface that traffic so that everybody knows what's coming out, and the IC can prioritize those communications based on what's being said on the radio. So if somebody used a ticket and said priority traffic, but somebody else said status change, well, we're listening to the priority traffic first. So that kind of lines up with that 1, 2, 3 progress reporting that we talk about a little bit.
Chris, do you have any thoughts on this audio?
Yeah, so I'm sitting here listening to it, and as we get started here, I pull up our evaluation sheets, right? And so when in our system, we've got an evaluation sheet for IC1, IC2, support officer, and senior advisor. So with the chief showing up first, right? There's a little bit of a blend of here. They play IC1 for a minute, and then they quickly transition to the role of IC2. So when you look at the high level things here that I'm paying attention to when listening to an IC, is up front, did the IC appear to have a clear idea of what's actually going on and what the critical fireground factors were? I think the answer is simply yes. He did. He understood that. Did he confirm, verify, reinforce that with getting a 360 to better support the initial incident action plan? Yeah, he absolutely did. Right. He completed a 360, communicated what was going on. There was no real change to the system other than he did know where the fire was, with some more certainty. Right. And then he built his incident action plan around that. Did the IC know and understand the position of function of everybody on the fireground? Yeah, absolutely they did. He did. Because he communicated clearly with task location objective, had a support officer there with him helping keep track of it, and knew where the work was happening and knew where he needed to, put folks as they progress through this to be able to get fire control and all clears in the exposures. And then he finished off that part of it with the roof report, assigning folks up there to get that last component of understanding, especially in these commercial fires, is what's going on with that roof. Because if it ain't safe enough to be on, it ain't safe enough to be under typically. So he gets that information and reinforces it. And then once he has a better, more complete view of it, that's when he makes a decision. All right, there is nothing left in that fire occupancy that we're going to be able to effectively save. So I'm going to change the incident strategy here from offensive to defensive, utilizing a standard process. And like Josh said, I'm going to compliment that dispatcher, and I'm going to and I thoroughly agree that that doesn't happen by accident. There's a lot of effort that goes into having a dispatcher be able to as quickly and as seamlessly react to that, communicate effectively. Those weren't the first time she said those words, right? And it was clear to everybody on the fireground what was actually happening. And oftentimes aside from a Mayday, there's very little traffic that's more important than a strategic shift. So, that was really nice. So when we look at this holistically, and give us the ability to answer the questions, were they in a good position if somebody would have said, prior to traffic, we got a victim? Yeah, they were in a good position. They had people in the right places. They had folks on deck providing some tactical reserve, and that tactical reserve serves a lot of different capacities. And then maybe the bigger question is, were they in as good a position as they could have been if they would have heard Mayday, Mayday, Mayday? And the answer is yes, right? Because of those same reasons. They had people in the right place doing the right work that could account for them, but through position and function, and they had tactical reserve in place that could have supported that Mayday operation if they needed to from the exterior, as well as those companies on the interior utilizing that help work. So when we look at these, holistically, really from the strategic or the policy level, quite honestly, senior advisor level, if I'm showing up as a senior advisor on this incident, I'm really happy. I'm actually going to get in the back of the rig or get in the command van or wherever the heck they are, and I'm going to sit there and be quiet, because they have control of things and things are happening, and I don't have anything to add to this to support them until I do, right? And so I'm not going to get in the way, and that's a really nice feeling showing up as a senior advisor in this.
I think this shows how a region can come together. A lot of times when we start talking about dispatch levels, deployment, working with dispatch, having plenty of chiefs on the scene, people just say, oh, we can't do that because we don't respond that way. There was a time, I'm sure in Hamilton County, you didn't get those levels. I know in Hennepin County, you didn't get those levels. I know in Indiana, you didn't get those levels, but you work towards it, right? You start talking to your neighbors and say, hey, we can use more chiefs on the scene. This is why we're doing blue card. You explain it. Same on the resource level, and the same thing with working with dispatch. That relationship with dispatch takes years to cultivate, and sometimes it takes a little while for them to monitor the TAC channel and be a part of that. But you guys got there because that was your goal, and you guys built the system to eventually do now what a 1-station fire department is now capable of doing, something that a 5 or 7 station fire department traditionally could do.
Yeah, and like you guys said, none of that happens by accident, and it wasn't without pushback, because the fire service doesn't want to change. But when you get all of those people on board, and then you get folks saying, well, there is nothing else, And, you know, and I always say, if not this, then what? And people just look at you like you're crazy. And it's like, well, I'm like, well, if not this, then what? So, just to put it out there in this county, the working group the working group and the chiefs have put together minimum requirements that if you're going to ride in that car, whether you're the chief or you're in a ride up and you're riding in the car, in order for you to fill the actual position, just because you're in the car don't mean shit. It's the capability and the training that goes along with it. So they have to be Blue Card certified. They suggest that they're hazmat ICs through Blue Card. They have to have the Mayday workshop. They have to have the big box workshop. They have to have the division ops workshop. And then we have a list of other classes. They have to have the company officer decision-making class, the thermal imaging class, and a few others. But that takes this entire region and makes it operationally much more like one agency instead of 46 different fire departments. And if you add the next county, it's, you know, like 70 different fire departments, but operating much closer together. And, you know, we still have, and we always will have work to do, but it had to start somewhere. And if you would have, you know, listened to any of this 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, it wouldn't have sounded anything like this. But everybody's getting on the same page with, you know, that same goal in mind and operating under, you know, one incident action plan. So, and our dispatchers are all, our dispatch, the director in charge of the dispatch center is totally committed to training all of their dispatchers with the Blue Card dispatcher program. So that just ties it in that much better, because they know, in some cases, they hear things that maybe we don't hear on the fire ground. So that's a nice, you know, backup of, you know, did you hear this? Not that they're going to engage in the middle and cut in if when things are going right, but if they hear a transmission 2 or 3 times, they might call command and say, hey, did you hear engine whoever's, you know, transmission? And, you know, it's okay. Whereas before, they weren't going to listen at all because they weren't even on the channel, because nobody ever asked them to even be on the channel. So yeah, a lot of progress with that.
All right, let's switch over to Cobb County. This one is a residential fire. What can you tell us about this, Josh?
Yeah, so Cobb County, another very large county fire department, 4 or 5, I think, battalions on a day and a shift commander. They do really well with Blue Card. We've had them on, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 times with, you know, I think some other strategic shifts. One of the strategic shifts in the past, the IC was going to change strategies, and he had a division boss in place that said, just give me like a few minutes to at least get this all clear, and then I think we can change strategies. And it's like, that's a value of putting the division boss forward, right? But there was trust in that too. Like the IC without the division boss was changing strategies, but the incident action plan that the division boss had for getting it all clear of some remaining units and doing some risk analysis, because they're a little bit closer to it. There was huge value in that, because they were able to get an all clear so that everybody felt better about, okay, we're changing strategies, and we're confident that we have a primary all clear for search and there's nobody in there. So on this one, it's a residential building. And as we march through this, we'll just do the same thing when we wrap it up and kind of, you know, break it down. But they do a lot of things with dispatch too, and their dispatch engages, you know, with them very nicely and gives them information. And none of this ever happens by accident. It's intentional, because they engage. They put out and say that, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to train you to that level. This is the expectation. And when things don't go right, they address it. And I'll just, you know, put it out there, and Chris can probably help me with the timeline, because it all runs together for me. But to me, it says something about an organization when things don't quite go the way you want them to do, or when something doesn't go right. When you're willing or you ask somebody to come in to help you understand what happened, and I'm talking about the apartment building fire that they had where some guys got burned, you know, that says something, right? So to me, Cobb County gets the A+ for one. Let's look at ourselves and how are we doing? And kind of the good is never good enough, and we're going to keep trudging forward. And they too are committed to the system. So.
Yeah, knowing the folks that we know, in Cobb County and being familiar with their system and having gone there and trained with them and all that is they are interested in doing a good job. That's a big deal to them organizationally. That's a pride thing for the membership. That's an important part for the leadership and specifically the training folks there. And so putting out and utilizing a system, training to that system, managing that that performance. How are we actually doing? And then fixing it or adjusting it when you really need to. Is they do it as good as anybody right now, as far as I'm concerned, with at least that I'm very familiar with. And the nice thing is they get plenty of practice, right? Because they do go to fires. And they're interested in doing a good job, and they're connected to more than things than just Blue Card. They're connected to a lot of the things that are going on in the fire service that make them better.
Yeah, I love when we have the opportunity to put out live audio, every so often, because it shows, one, the commitment from the organization to provide the service that why we're in business, to provide service, right? Life safety and put out people's fires, right? Really, we become all hazards. Whatever they call for is what we're going to do. And both of these audio examples show that the system is committed to putting the fire out and to life safety, period. There is no other ands, if, buts about it. So anybody out there who doesn't know about the system, you can continue to be scared of the dark, because that's all it is. You don't know what it is, and you don't know what sits in the dark. That's why you're scared of the dark, and that's why you're scared of the system.
The other thing I want to say, Josh, is can an organization really say they give a shit about their members and they give a shit about the community if they're not willing to hold themselves accountable in their performance? Right. And I don't mean like in a disciplinary way. I mean, like, no, literally, we're going to hold each other accountable, right, to how we perform. And then because we care about the community, we legitimately care about the community. So that's a strength, I think, that goes right along with what you're talking about.
And accountability is reinforcing good behavior and just correcting when we can do things better. Accountability, so often they're like, oh, you're going to write me up, or I'm going to be in trouble, or you talk to me wrong way, or whatever. And it's like, get over it. Like, you're all committed to provide service for this job. Then let's do that. Let's commit and do it the best that we possibly can do it.
All right, let's go to Cobb County, Georgia.
Rated all units running Vineyard Way. Call takers advising. Homeowners are saying the garage is on fire, cars are catching on fire, and that homeowners are trying to get into the house and take the cars out. They're not listening to the call taker.
Time 3 radio.
Time 3, go ahead.
Let's go ahead and upgrade the response.
Radio is clear, upgrade response. All units, upgraded response.
Engine 15 radio.
Engine 15, go ahead.
Alright, Engine 15's on scene. Small two-story residential structure. We do have flames showing on the Bravo side coming out the garage, it looks like. Engine 15 will have command to make this a working fire. Go ahead and balance the alarm. Out doing the 360.
Radio is clear, on scene, small two-story, flame showing Bravo side coming out the garage, working fire. I'll do 360. Balance the alarm.
Command radio.
Command, go ahead.
Just be advised, I met with the homeowner. It appears that everyone is out of the house.
Radio is clear. Everyone out of the house.
The Time 3 radio.
Time 3, go ahead.
If you haven't been able to get a hold of Company 21, go ahead and start my truck 14.
Radio is clear. Start truck 14.
Command radio with a follow-up.
Command, go ahead with follow-up.
I walk around complete. It's going to be a two-story. I live structure with a split level. Main body of fire is coming through the garage. 15 will be fire control. No change in the IEP plan.
Radio is clear. Walk around complete. Main body of fire through the garage.
Engine 20 is level 1 with 4.
10-4.
Command Engine 20.
20, go ahead.
Looks like we're your stage. That's going to be our last hydrant. You guys will catch that and just forward lay into Engine 15.
20's clear, forward lay-in. Time 3's on scene.
10-4.
The Time 3 command transfer.
Command Bat 3, go ahead.
Hey, Steve, I got you guys being fire control on the alpha side. Check that. Looks like you're going to be on the, it's the alpha side there. You also got engine 20. It's going to be water supply. If all that's correct, give me a can.
Yeah, 10-4 Chief, that's correct. We're getting a knock on the fire that's in the garage, but it is extended into the house. As soon as we get another crew, we'll need a second line to go interior on the alpha side.
Battalion 3 is clear. I'll take from out here. Break. Battalion 3, radio.
Battalion 3, go ahead.
Show Battalion 3 was in command. We're going to make also strategy. No change to the IAP.
Radio is clear. Officer strategy. No change IAP.
Command engine 20. 20, go ahead. Hey, go ahead and have your driver complete the water supply. The rest of your crew is going to pull an additional line off of engine 15, alpha side front door for fire control. Check for extension.
20's clear. Second line, alpha side front door. Check for extension.
Command radio.
Command, go ahead.
Were you able to get a hold of Company 21?
Negative, we were not. Still no answer over radio and no answer to the station.
Start me an additional engine and an additional rescue police.
Radio is clear. Start additional engine and additional rescue.
15 Bravo, 15 Alpha, you're about 10% water. We're about to send you permanent water.
Engine 15,
Go ahead, engine 15.
go ahead and get the utility companies out here, electrical company. We've got it popping all down here in the garage.
All right, I'm clear.
Radio is clear.
Thank you.
Command, do you know what power company supplies this area?
Stand by. Squad's on scene.
10-4.
Commander Squad 16. Go ahead, Chief. I need you on deck, alpha side. Squad receive, on deck, alpha side. Command radio, Georgia Power.
Radio is clear.
Engine 15, command.
Go ahead, engine 15.
If they had mentioned to you yet, the only thing we were advised by the homeowner is there may be a cat inside. One cat.
All right, I'm clear.
20 to 15 pumper. We're ready for water on that second line.
Engine 14, level 1. Command engine 14. Engine 14, go ahead. Hey, bring your crew up. It's going to be on deck, alpha. We're clear on deck, alpha side.
Engine 15, command. You're on permanent water.
Command's clear. Radio, you clear.
Can you repeat that?
Department of Water has been established.
10-4.
Commander Squad 16.
Squad go.
Hey, Bob, I need you guys to give me a search.
Squad receive on search.
Engine 15, command.
Go ahead, engine 15.
Just be advised there's a partial floor collapse. It's going to be on the Bravo side.
Command's clear. We have a partial collapse on the Bravo side. First floor, you said?
Yeah, 10-4. The rest is
Command, all crews operating. Be advised, we do have a partial collapse on the first floor. Truck 14, get more. Truck 14, command. Commander, truck 14. Go ahead, command. Hey, well, I need you to head up and be alpha on deck, alpha side. Truck 14 is clear on deck, alpha side. Command, engine 14.
Engine 14, go.
Hey, Wes, can you secure the utilities and also give me an additional 360? I don't have eyes on this structure at all.
Yeah, 10-4. Squad 16, command.
Go ahead, Squad 16.
Yeah, we're going to need a full additional line here on the right side.
You say an additional line to the alpha side?
Yeah, 10-4. We got heavy fire on the first floor.
Command clear. Break. Command engine 14.
Engine 14, go ahead.
Hey, let's go ahead and swap and get an additional line off of engine 15, alpha side, front door.
All right, we're clear. Second line. Alpha side, front door.
It'll be a third line. Battalion 2's on scene. Battalion 2. Battalion 2's on scene. We're going to be over here behind truck 14. All right, 10-4. I want to make you Alpha Division. Let me know you're in place, and I'll give you your assignment. Who's running to you? 10-4. Alpha Division.
Engine 14, ready for water. Rescue 14, level 1 with 2.
Command clear, Rescue 14.
Rescue 14, go ahead.
Complete your level 1. Command, the last unit, repeat your traffic.
Squad 16 on the Senate Press Block Control Basement.
Bobby, you're unreadable. Command to Squad 16.
Go ahead, Chief.
I did not read your last traffic.
No, I'm trying to get in contact with the Senate Press Block Control Basement.
All right, the only thing I could understand was something in the basement.
I'll do face to face.
Roger that.
Engine 25 is on scene, level 1 with 3.
Radio's clear, engine 25. Stay in level 1.
Clear, level 1.
Engine 20, command.
Go ahead, engine 20.
Can we get a release team on our nozzle, please? We recycle.
Engine, command's clear. Break. Engine to truck 14.
Engine 14, go ahead.
Hey, relieve engine 15. Truck 14, relieve engine 15 on their hand line.
Truck 14, clear assignment. Engine 15, command.
Go ahead.
We're going to reposition our line to the Charlie side. We got a good body of fire on the main floor. Working its way upstairs already.
All right, I'm clear. Reposition your line. Break. Command to truck 14.
Truck 14, go ahead, command.
You will be relieving engine 20, not engine 15.
Truck 14, clear, taking 20 line. Engine 20, command with a status change.
Go ahead, engine 20.
Exited the structure with 4 personnel. Headed to recycle.
I'm clear. Exit 4 personnel. Recycle.
Air 30, all same.
Command Air 30. Go ahead. You set up recycle for rehab right between engine 20 and engine 15.
Civil.
Med-Ops on scene with 2.
Command's clear. Med-Ops.
Med-Ops, go ahead.
Let's go ahead and make your way down to the rehab area.
Med-Ops clear.
Command radio. Drop the emergency tones.
Radio's clear, dropping emergency tones.
Command all units operating on the structure. We're transitioning to defensive mode operations. Everyone exit the structure. Defensive mode, exit the structure. Got a partial collapse on the Charlie side. Command to Alpha boss. Command to Alpha Division. Alpha Division, go ahead. Help me get a par as they come out the Alpha side.
Squad 16 Alpha, Squad 16 Bravo.
Alpha Division, command. Go ahead.
We have par for Squad 16, Engine 14, and Truck 14.
Start and clear.
So I'll start this one off, JV. So this one's an interesting one, right? We start to hear, some pretty clear information, some pretty clear direction of what's happening on the front end from the first arriving IC. Battalion chief gets there, does a nice job in that transition. We don't lose any pace, and we don't lose any information with regards to the incident or the position and function of everybody. When he shows up, and then starts plugging people into the tactical positions based on the information he has to be able to get water on the fire and to be able to get an all clear. They clearly have a garage fire. They've got extension into the house. Then they start getting information about there's a collapse on the Bravo. There's a change in the Charlie. The squad company starts talking about something about the basement, and which really was the first time we kind of heard the idea that there's a basement here, at least that I caught. And the IC's starting to take all these pieces of what's going on while there's still information coming in that we do not have fire control. They've got fire in this location, that location. Companies are recycling, so they're coming out. They've already gone through one bottle of air and one cycle of actually work. In a lot of cases, probably flowing water and doing doing their thing, right? And now we're getting to the point is, all right, the IC makes the decision. Can I support what's going on based on the structural integrity, based on the progress that we're making on the fire, or can't I? And he clearly cannot support that, right? And so makes the decision to change strategies. In the interim, before this happens, gets a division boss in place to start organizing and paying attention and coordinating what's happening on that Alpha side. Which gives him the ability. All right, now Alpha's going to manage this. I've got stuff going here on Bravo and Charlie. I'm going to start paying attention to these companies a little bit more closely, puts it all together, makes the decision. And then once he goes defensive, then it's very easy to connect with Alpha and the other folks to make sure, all right, is everybody out and do they have a par? right? It's so that they can move forward with this defensive incident action plan. And so again, I think they're utilizing the system effectively and the way it was intended. Much like the last one, I would say if there was anything I would say that would benefit them in improving is the use of tickets to get on the radio and to knowing and when and what purpose status change should take place, when priority traffic should take place, and those types of things. So again, that's those are things that every fire department needs to work on, right? And so that's not that didn't get in the way of them doing a good job here, but it would put them in a position to actually do even better job. So I think they did really well. I like listening to incidents where the IC is engaged, getting people in the right place, paying attention, but he wasn't micromanaging. He was not in their business. He wasn't telling them how and when and why and all these other things. He gave them the right amount of information in TLO and the assignments, and then communicated well when there was progress reports, and then made a change when he should have made a change before something bad happens. And so that's a good thing.
Yeah, so this is just another one to reinforce the dispatch engaging, because their dispatch clearly engages, so that's really good. And then another piece is this organization sends what they've identified as the appropriate amount of resource to. This isn't just a house on fire. We're ready if there's people trapped, known or unknown, and we find a victim, we're ready. So, I mean, they had MedOps set up. They set up, for an area to recycle. They had somebody, their air unit got there and set up for rehab if it goes or went that far. So that's that front end forecasting piece that just makes it easier, if you will, for the strategic IC to manage it, because on the front end there's that bolus of resource that they're getting. And the IC in this case did a nice job, because en route there was something going on with that company that never marked that they were responding, and he wanted to make sure that the resource that was dispatched, whether it's going to be them or somebody else, I want to make sure that I have the resource that I believe that I'm supposed to have, coming to this. So yeah, another nice job. And two different incidents, 600 miles away, two different building types, but both using the same system. And District 90 from Springdale could sit in the car and run that incident at Cobb, and vice versa. And because it's the same system, and people are trained the same way with the same kind of expectations. So
I timed this out, and we get criticized from people who don't understand what blue card is about level 1 staging. They think level 1 staging is a mile away, and you're just sitting there waiting for an assignment. Engine 20 approached, went level 1. Command immediately identified, hey, I need you on that hydrant where you're at right now, and make that water supply. That was a total of 13 seconds. So it took 13 seconds for the level 1 transmission to happen, and for them to get back what their assignment was going to be initially. And then they ended up moving up after the water supply was made. But I thought that was good. And the other thing I liked was the IC didn't have eyes on the structure, and he made it known to everybody. Hey, I can't see this from where I'm at. So he's depending on his division bosses to let him know what the conditions are and what's going on. So there was one side of the structure he couldn't see. He's like, hey, I didn't see that. So everybody knew that was kind of a handicap for the IC, but they were able to make up for it with the deployment of division bosses.
Yeah, that level 1 staging thing, John, is interesting, because why is that successful? That's successful because the IC had a clue and he had a plan, and he's practiced it. He knows how to use the system, and he knows where he wants them based on a practice set of the ability to size up and plug that into action. And that's exactly why that's happening. And that's a great thing. And the detractors of level 1 staging, probably like many things in their life, they don't get.
All right, 2 great clips this week: Springdale, Ohio, and Cobb County, Georgia. Thank you for sending those clips in. If you would like us to showcase what you're doing at your department, please contact us in the show notes, and we'd be happy to showcase what you're doing at your department with your audio. It helps everyone else learn, and we appreciate that, and show practical application of Blue Card. Before we go today, timeless tactical truths. All right, timeless tactical truth from Alan Brunacini, and today's is: don't let the fire/building force you to go defensive. Go on your own. What do you think the boss is trying to say there, starting with Chris?
I think exactly what I just said with the last comment I made about this incident, right? Proactive, understood what was going on the fireground, had practiced and uses the system, knows and understands it, has the ability to critically think, and is prepared for making changes when they need to. Knowing and understanding what is tenable and manageable, and when can we continue to operate in the offensive strategy because the right things are happening and the problem's getting better, as compared to, no, not all the right things are happening. And maybe not because we're doing poorly. It's just the incidents ahead of us, right? And it had a head start when we showed up. And so knowing and recognizing when that's happening and making the call. It's not an emotional decision. It's not a spiritual decision. It's a decision based on critical factors and the fact that I likely can no longer save anything here, lives or property. So I'm going to make a switch, and then I'm going to define where we're going to work from that point. So both of these guys today actually did a very good job with that.
Yeah, so the initial radio report and that follow-up report set the stage. This is where it was at when they got there, and the timeline begins, and it's either getting better or worse. And in this case, it wasn't getting better, even with the resource that they were putting at it. And then he was being fed information, what he could see and some of the stuff he couldn't see, and putting the initial radio report, follow-up report together. And then the communications of, a collapse, and then, the fire involvement, throughout the first floor. Conditions were not getting better based on the resource that they were putting at it, and they were not going to win, right? It was too far ahead. So it's that forecasting piece. So from the time that they arrived, what does it look like, and what do we think is going to happen?
That's a wrap on today's Bee Shifter podcast. I'd like to thank Josh Blum and Chris Stewart for riding shotgun today and helping us out with that audio. Especially thank you to Springdale, Ohio, and Cobb County, Georgia. Remember to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the Bee Shifter podcast. And until next Thursday, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening.